What's up, everybody? This is Edward back with another video. Appreciate the super chats. Appreciate the cash apps. Definitely appreciate the new subscribers. I stay titling my shit, bullshit, misspelling it. But come on. We're gonna chop up some good analysis and information. Shout out to my Telegram group. I'm actually missing a good basketball game to talk to y'all, but I got that shit recorded. But shout out to Blake Griffin of the light skin delegation, as Dennis Sperling says. What's up? So what are we gonna talk about today? It, you know, I gotta tell y'all, I'm kind of two minds on a lot of these things. On the one hand, you know, I've been in this space way too long for people to try to have a great reset. And I'm talking about like a variety of folks at this point. To where here's the struggle. So on the one hand, you got folks that are new to the space, and when I say new to the space, you are new to this conversation. They just start chatting, whatever. So they're always going to come at it from a more, well, it's just a misunderstanding. So if I just explain it, everybody will come to their opinions type thing. Then you have folks that have been in here for a minute, and at the end of the day, they're doing this for a business, and they have every right to do this for a business. Or they may have came into some money and they're like, okay, how can I drive this shit? And it always comes back to, obviously, if you focus on the black male demographic and only black male demographic, in many ways that stifles you. That is a sacrifice, because it's less black men on YouTube and it's harder to find that demographic, especially if you're talking about this content. If you want to focus on a black male demographic, you really want to focus on sports, hip hop, stuff like that. Hell, hair, waves, shit like that. That's or entertainment. That's what drives the black male demographic. So not only are you cutting it off by race because you're talking about black people, then you're cutting it by gender. So, and then on top of it, YouTube is really not trying to hear what you're trying to say. And this is just in general. So this is why the manosphere hasn't grown in the way that it could have. And really, what it comes down to is us really having to manually grow it. And then you have Kwame Brown, Kevin Samuels, Kwame Brown. You have other people coming into play, as far as not only are their shit just driving up very fast, they're actually bringing people into, quote unquote, I won't say the space, but they're bringing people into kind of like um into a space that you can actually capture them as a subscriber. So a lot of people are growing as a result. Yeah. So well, I'm not, you know what though, my thing is, I looked at it, I commented a couple of times on it. Hold on one second. Hold on one second. Yeah, so here's the thing, man. I see it, and you know, you got to understand there is such a thing called the business of YouTube. Because I was laughing because O'Shea don't never share shit, and O'Shea shared that stream. But at the end of the day, man, there's a business of YouTube, and understand. And this is one thing a lot of y'all are gonna have to accept, and I'm kind of prepping y'all for it, Because believe me, I fight for a lot of y'all's best interests. I don't sit there and but what you're gonna have to understand is the fuck. I'm gonna speed this shit up. Y'all gonna have to understand that there is the inner space, and then there is kind of greater black YouTube. You got to look at this shit like orbits. And if you look at this shit like orbits, what you have to understand is people are gonna, you know, we understand what people look. I sell shit, so I understand people are trying to sell certain narratives and stuff. And my thing, and I want to make this very clear, when I say I'm indifferent on what black people do, it doesn't mean I don't have my preferences. But what it does mean is at the end of the day, I know black people are gonna do what the fuck they want to do at the end of the fucking day. And so I'm not gonna be invested in something that doesn't directly affect me. I'm just not, because that's just no. That's gonna create a lot of unnecessary stress. It really is. And a lot of times, a lot of y'all be in here and you all will have investments that people validate what you do. And I don't do that. I don't. I just don't. Because I've gone deep enough in this rabbit hole enough to understand. Like even David Carroll used to talk about it. He used to, and a rabbit hole is obviously David Carroll reference, but David Carroll used to talk about, how he used to argue with the damn Hebrew Israelites and shit. He would be that guy, and I was that guy. And to a certain extent, I'm still that guy, but I'm kind of going into a transition where I try to be as indifferent as possible because you can't deal with what you cannot control. Now, obviously, there's a situation where I may get to the position where I have a greater ability to influence it online, whether I make it content or not. But, but also, you know, some people get a little bit too invested in this content. Like for instance, when you look at the stream that Anton and Six Goddess is doing, you need to see that as a positive thing. I'm gonna tell you why. Because what a lot of you all don't know is when Kevin Samuels got into that wife steal gate that they was trying to put out there, what people are not talking about is that what people are not talking about is that was Six Goddess. That's who that was. Go Google MTO News and then dating guru steal. The YouTube dating guru steals wife, and then it'll pop up. And I didn't realize that. So she does. So there's reasons why she don't want to bring him up, or she keeps that champ clamped down. But that being said, it's impossible for her. I won't say impossible, but I highly doubt she doesn't know who that Anton has as much respect and reverence for Kevin. Because if you actually listen to the Lepeep show when Kevin comes on there, even just the clips, like they definitely have a lot of respect. Now she said she has some things that she has said, and that I don't agree with, and it's the same thing with her and Danica Marie. But understand something, that it's actually a positive thing that she's actually talking to a black man, even if it's one that's married. Because the thing about it is, what a lot of women tend to do is they tend to stay up in their castle and have these opinions, and then they're able to influence stuff without you really hearing what they're really about. And so this gives people an opportunity to kind of say, okay, I don't agree with this, and this. And it furthermore makes the women have to stand on what a lot of what they say. It just is. And so that's ultimately a positive thing. Because understand that if these arguments are not presented, then you're not going to be able to knock them down and really say what folks are really on. This is why I don't agree when Obsidian tries to allude to people are just antisocial, and he's talking about the women too. But my thing is, we need to be we folks got to start standing on the points. So no, I don't see that as a negative thing. I have my views on it, but just like she said that hypergamy was a male construct. Are you fucking serious? I mean, women weren't taught to be, no, a woman's nature is to want to get resources for her nest. That's not a male construct. And see, a lot of that stuff is like first world talk, but whatever on that. And so again, I try to elevate the conversation. That's why I kind of, I let y'all rock for the most part because I ain't trying to be an asshole. But like straight up, like a lot of some of this, like the petty shit, you know, I try to stay away from the petty shit. I really do. I don't, because if you open that up, then you're really getting away from the points. You're really getting away from the points. No, it is. I mean, just like when people say sir, like just like okay, when you hear somebody say, and I'm not even talking about her, but I'm talking when you hear females talk about things like black love, you see what a lot of dudes, they don't understand what the fuck that really means. They really don't. And it's like, okay, like they assume black love includes them. No, it doesn't. Black love is them basically romanticizing about the men they want. Now, I'm not saying you're not in that category, but understand that each woman is different. So they're looking at the best women, men that they particularly want, which is perfectly fine. Here's the problem though. The problem is when men start having standards. See, men are the ones that are expected to settle. Men are the ones they're supposed to take women as they are. That's what black love is. Black love is you getting with a baby, basically you being a stepfather. See, black love is rooted in black male sacrifice. Because anytime a female brings up black love, or don't even get mad, just ask them. So I got a question. What are you willing to sacrifice for black love? Give me some things that you want, that you're willing to forego. And or if you want to be real slick with it, just say, okay, what is it that you think men should sacrifice for black love? Because you know they're gonna have answers for that. Then you flip it. And they're not gonna have any answers. They're not gonna have any answers. Because at the end of the day, that's not what black love is for them. They've never even pondered that. And again, what Kevin said, because he talked about this on the Lapine show, what he said about how it affected him when they were doing the, black women don't belong to black men thing. I mean, when it comes down to it, you have real things that need to be dealt with. And you talking around it is not going to solve the problem. It's kicking the can. This ain't the United States government. This ain't the United States government debt bill. This shit can't be kicked. Because again, these millennials are 23 years old. And I said this yesterday. These millennials are 23 and 24. And I'm going to tell you, you will see a noticeable drop in how much they engage with black women. You just are. Because it's not about hatred. It's that they were not raised the same way as millennials, and it's just like millennials weren't raised the same way as Xers. And I think black people very much underestimate that because they've never really seen that. So it's kind of like one of those things where we're just gonna believe it can't happen until it does, and then we folks are gonna be like, "Oh no, what do I do?" Because quite frankly, they've never had to deal with it, and by then, I fear it's gonna be too late. Because once they get in it and the alphas start getting into that, that's why I try to apply real numbers like that. By the time millennials take over the entire prime dating market and become 30, I'll be O'Shea's age. I'll be 40, 41. By the time the alphas get up there, I'll be like, probably like around 52, 53, 50, a little bit like that. So this shit is going to happen a lot faster than I think people think. And then you got all these immigrants coming in here. Like people think this is a game. And so then it becomes okay, where you trying to make money? Because I can respect that. Because if folks are trying to make money, then okay, let me just take a step back and let you make your money, understanding that okay, you ain't really saying shit. You just trying to make money. Because understand because if you really want to make black money off black people, you want to basically lean towards the women, and then you want to give dudes hope. That's the formula. especially if you're going to have quote unquote relationship talk. Also, the formula is very rooted in either how much money you have or how you look. It's very much rooted in that. That's why if you're a black man, there's a certain type of look you need to have for it to, because it doesn't, because really, and this is how you know it has nothing to do with fatherhood and shit. And this is why, and nobody really wants to hear that. Nobody wants to hear it's over. They want to talk, they want to be just fed hope. And this is why when people like to talk about, oh, well, people are scamming, it's like, you know what? A lot of people just want to be scammed. What do you do with somebody that doesn't want the truth? Like, honestly, if somebody doesn't want the truth and you need to make money, what do you do? I guess that's the same question you ask somebody and they want to make fast money and they know people want dope. What do you do? Interesting question. The wall of indifference is real. I mean, it is. I mean, right now it's not necessarily a wall of indifference because black people are talking. So appreciate that. Also appreciate Roast Master for the $20 as always. Pretty much my strongest supporter on that front. And so my thing is I don't, and people can't understand that. So people want to think, oh, but you don't like black love. I'm like, dude, man, I know a lot of black married couples that are my age, that are younger. Let's stop playing that game. But at the same time, a lot of y'all be capping. A lot of y'all be capping like a motherfucker, like straight up. You say it's 7, like some percent single motherhood. Well, so black love doesn't apply to them. Well, in order for it to apply to them, a black man's got to be willing to be that father. But see, these people don't want to say this stuff. So what it really comes from is what about doing the right shit the first time? Black love shouldn't be a fallback plan for black women. How about black women exercising black love by doing what the fuck Kevin says or what other people say to do? How about actually being fit, feminine, and friendly, and you expressing your black love that way? But see, that shit's too much to ask because now it's got to be what these niggas are doing. Anyway, hold on one second. Yeah, I'm doing something. One second. Hey y'all, I'm gonna restart this up, but I gotta end this right now.